In today's world, headlines can mislead us just as quickly as they grab our attention. The speed at which information travels means that a single story can be shared, retweeted, and discussed by millions within minutes, often before anyone has checked the facts. As we scroll through our feeds, it's easy to get swept up in the latest viral claim, especially when it's about something as important as American jobs and industry. Recently, a rumor exploded online. John Deere was supposedly shutting down all its U.S. operations. The story spread like wildfire, sparking outrage and fear about the future of American manufacturing. But let's set the record straight. John Deere is not closing its U.S. factories. The company remains a major employer and manufacturer in the United States, with thousands of workers still on the job. What's actually happening is a strategic business move. John Deere is relocating two specific product lines, skid steers and compact track loaders, from its Dubuque, Iowa plant to a new facility in Mexico. This is a targeted shift, not a total shutdown. The rest of the company's U.S. operations remain intact, and many other products will continue to be made in America. It's important to understand the distinction. A single production line move is about adapting to global competition and business strategy, not abandoning American workers or communities. Yet, the internet twisted this partial truth into a dramatic story of economic collapse and betrayal, fueling anxiety and political debate. The real story is far more complex, involving not just business decisions but also political controversy, legal battles, and the broader challenges facing American industry today. Former President Trump responded with threats of massive tariffs, vowing to protect American jobs and manufacturing. Meanwhile, the FTC launched a major lawsuit over farmers' right to repair their own equipment, adding another layer to the controversy. Even federal officials have been fired in the fallout, as the debate over manufacturing and workers' rights intensifies. To truly understand what's at stake for workers, farmers, and consumers, we need to look beyond the headlines and separate fact from fiction, because the real story is rarely as simple as it first appears. The John Deere shutdown rumor didn't appear out of nowhere. Like many viral stories, it started as a whisper, an unverified claim that quickly gained momentum online. It was fueled by AI-generated videos and posts, spreading false claims across YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. These platforms, designed for rapid sharing, became the perfect breeding ground for misinformation, allowing rumors to leap from one user to thousands in a matter of hours. These stories preyed on real fears about job loss and outsourcing, making them believable and shareable. For many workers, the threat felt personal, and that emotional connection made them more likely to pass the story along to friends and family. Sensational headlines and fake quotes drove outrage, which social media algorithms amplified. The more shocking the claim, the more likely it was to be promoted, regardless of its truth. Outrage equals engagement, and engagement spreads misinformation faster than the truth. Viral posts rack up likes, shares, and comments, pushing them to the top of everyone's feed, while quieter, factual corrections get buried. This isn't unique to John Deere. Similar tactics have targeted Ford, Boeing, and Nike. Any big company can become the subject of a viral rumor, especially when public anxieties are high. Once a false story goes viral, it's hard to correct. Official statements rarely reach as many people as the original lie. Companies scramble to respond, but their messages often get lost in the noise. The result: confusion, distrust, and a public misinformed about real economic issues. People begin to question not just the rumor, but the credibility of all news, making it harder to separate fact from fiction. This episode is a stark reminder. Always question your sources. Take a moment to verify before you believe or share, especially when the story seems designed to provoke a strong reaction. Don't accept dramatic claims at face value, especially when they're designed to provoke. Ask yourself, who benefits from this story, and is there evidence to back it up? Media literacy is more important than ever. Learning how to spot fake news, understand sources, and think critically about what we see online is a vital skill in today's world. In the digital age, critical thinking is our best defense. By questioning, verifying, and staying alert, we can help stop the spread of misinformation, one story at a time. Strip away the rumors, and John Deere's move is a classic business decision. In June 2024, the company announced it would shift two product lines from Iowa to Mexico to streamline operations and cut costs. The new plant leverages lower labor costs and better logistics, but John Deere's main U.S. factories remain open. For Dubuque, it's a painful loss, but not a sign of total retreat. This kind of targeted relocation is common in global manufacturing. Companies constantly balance the benefits of U.S. production with the financial advantages of moving some operations abroad. The New Mexican facility will serve global customers, not just Americans. It's about adapting to a changing economy, not abandoning American workers. John Deere's move quickly became political fuel. At a campaign event, Donald Trump threatened a 200% tariff on any John Deere products imported from Mexico. His message punished companies for moving jobs overseas and protect American workers. The threat was more about political theater than economic policy, but it resonated with voters worried about globalization. Trump's stance framed the issue as a battle between corporate profits and American jobs. Whether such a tariff could actually happen is debatable, but the message was clear. He'd use presidential power to intervene in global trade. The threat itself was the point, signaling to both voters and corporations that the rules could change. For Trump, it was a campaign promise wrapped in populist anger. Trump's announcement was staged for maximum impact, surrounded by farmers and John Deere tractors in rural Pennsylvania. The setting reinforced his message. He's the champion of the American heartland, fighting for farmers against corporate betrayal. By targeting John Deere, he positioned himself as the farmer's ally and the company as the villain. The narrative was simple. A great American brand was turning its back on the country, and only he would stand up for workers. This emotional appeal bypassed complex trade debates, offering a clear hero and villain. The controversy became a symbol for broader frustrations about jobs and foreign competition. Trump's message reached far beyond the event, resonating with workers and small business owners across the Midwest. The political theater was designed to show he hears their concerns and is ready to fight. Meanwhile, John Deere faced a different battle in Washington. In January 2025, the FTC sued the company, not over factory locations but over farmers' right to repair their own equipment. The FTC accused John Deere of monopolizing repairs by restricting access to software and tools, forcing farmers to use expensive dealerships. This right-to-repair issue has frustrated farmers for years, driving up costs and causing costly delays. The lawsuit argued these restrictions weren't about safety, but about protecting profits. The case became a landmark for the right-to-repair movement, signaling new federal scrutiny. For farmers, it's about control over the tools they depend on. John Deere pushed back hard against the FTC's lawsuit. The company argued its repair restrictions are about safety and protecting advanced technology, not creating a monopoly. Modern tractors are complex, software-driven machines. Unauthorized repairs could risk safety or break emissions laws. Deere claims it provides tools for routine maintenance and relies on trained dealers for more complex fixes. The company says open access would threaten its intellectual property and future innovation. While dealership repairs can be costly, Deere insists this ensures quality and reliability. The company frames the FTC's case as an attack on innovation, not a win for farmers. The debate pits safety and progress against independence and affordability. The legal fight over the right-to-repair movement took a dramatic and unexpected turn in March 2025, sending shockwaves through Washington and the entire regulatory landscape. In a move that stunned both supporters and critics, President Trump abruptly fired 2 Federal Trade Commission commissioners who had been leading the charge in the high-profile lawsuit against John Deere. These commissioners had become symbols of the government's willingness to challenge powerful corporate interests and defend consumer rights. The White House justified the firings by asserting broad presidential authority over executive branch officials. However, the decision immediately drew fierce backlash from lawmakers, legal scholars, and advocacy groups who argued that it was a direct attack on the independence of regulatory agencies like the FTC. The ousted commissioners did not back down. They announced plans to challenge their removal in federal court, citing a landmark Supreme Court precedent designed to protect regulatory agencies from political interference and ensure their ability to act in the public interest. The firings ignited a constitutional showdown, raising urgent questions about the limits of presidential power and the future of independent oversight in America. Critics warned that undermining the FTC's independence could cripple its ability to protect consumers, potentially causing the right-to-repair lawsuit to unravel and emboldening large corporations to resist regulation. Many saw the move as part of a broader campaign to reduce government oversight of big business, shifting the balance of power further toward corporate interests at the expense of ordinary Americans. For the John Deere case, the commissioner's removal cast a long shadow over the lawsuit's future, leaving farmers and advocates uncertain about whether their fight for repair rights would continue. If the FTC is reshaped with new leadership more sympathetic to industry, the case could be quietly dropped or settled on terms highly favorable to Deere, setting a precedent for future corporate battles. In this high-stakes battle, the lines between politics and law have blurred, and the outcome will shape the future of government oversight and consumer rights in America. Step back, and the John Deere story reveals a collision of business, politics, and misinformation. The fact remains, John Deere isn't leaving America. It's shifting 2 product lines abroad, a move common in today's economy. But AI-driven rumors and political rhetoric have turned a business decision into a national controversy. For workers in Dubuque, the loss is real. For farmers, the right to repair fight is personal. Trump's tariff threats and the FTC lawsuit have made John Deere a symbol of larger battles over jobs, trade, and corporate power. The firing of FTC commissioners adds a new layer of uncertainty. This story is a microcosm of America's struggle with globalization, technology, and trust. The path forward demands clear-eyed scrutiny of facts, not viral outrage. Only by seeking the truth can we have an honest conversation about the future.